Good evening. Welcome back, travelers, to episode 45 of the NearDark Society Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition campaign. Tonight's episode is titled A Giant's Claim. We last left off, our Widowmakers were about to engage Dretha in combat. So, without any further ado, that is where we pick up, right where we left off.
Thanks, guy.
So we will go ahead and start the roll for initiative.
13.
I really wish I bought new dice before this.
Map Cam is up.
I am so sorry. That was aggressive. Good start. Good start. 14.
Oh, beat me by 1.
23.
23.
Beat me by 10. Worry about it next time.
Sound proud about it or something.
23.
23? What'd you say you got?
23.
Who has higher dex? Yeah.
I shouldn't even ask.
Jez?
Yeah. 14.
14?
I got 13. That's how tonight's gonna go, huh?
Be positive, even though you're dying inside. So that is accurate, yeah. Good job. You did good, guy. I knew you had it in you. So that's not to scale, right? How big is this crowd she's on?
It is larger than that. I could not find a miniature that was going to have a lady sitting on a gargantuan crab.
It's a gargantuan.
It is technically a gargantuan.
How big is that?
Larger than large.
So basically, it could hit you from about the fourth square tile out. So from where it's at, it's got a 15-foot reach
Okay.
where that crab is at. You guys are currently right now not in danger, but the first one up is going to be Cav. Excuse me.
Okay. Does the gargantuan crab act like any sort of platform that I can stand on top of, or no?
Does it act like what?
Like a platform I can stand on, or no?
I mean, yeah, it's big enough you can stand on the crab.
So hypothetically, if I had gone onto the crab, could I hit Dretha?
Hypothetically, yeah, if you could get on the crab.
Well, I'm going to use my delayed blast fireball.
Okay.
So it's got a range of 150 feet. It's one action of a casting time. The saving throw for it
Is dexterity?
is 17.
17.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and use that for the first time ever.
Okay, so it's a concentration spell.
Yep.
And are you going to hold it?
No, I'm not going to hold it. I'm just going to go ahead and just give it a big old...
So you're going to target the bead right where she's at?
Yeah.
Okay.
About time.
Very well. We'll roll here. Okay. You watch as that bead forms in your finger, and as you point towards Dretha, that small glowing orb darts across the room, passes the 2 crab bodyguards, and rests right beside her. You watch as she sees the orb approach, makes eye contact, and moves her head back towards with a devilish grin. Anything else you're gonna do on your turn?
And then for my bonus action, I am going to... Is there any columns in this throne room or anything like
It's actually pretty open. There is no columns or anything to protect yourself from any sort of blasts or projectiles. However, you do know that that crystal egg is currently floating in the center of the room. sort of just hovering.
Oh. Let's see here. I think I'm not gonna do anything else. There's nothing really I can. Is there any way to like grapple towards it, or is it just kind of just?
It's probably about 50 feet up in the air.
Okay. All right. Then that's my turn.
That's your turn. All right. Up next is going to be Falner.
Or for my first action, I want to use Skullbreaker to cast Armor of Agathis,
Okay.
which gives me 20 temporary hit points. Anything that hits me in melee receives 20 damage.
Very nice.
And then for a bonus action, I will inspire Jezebel.
Okay. Very well. So as you see Falner readying himself, his spell casting through his great sword, you then see he reacts, casting a spell onto you, Jez. You feel that magical dwemer surge through your body as you get this rush of inspiration and encouragement. Is that gonna be your turn?
And I'll move up just one space. I just want to put the
Just one space?
Yeah.
Very well. Move you up one space. Turn. Dretha's going to use a legendary action. You watch as she rises up, standing on top of her crab throne. She looks towards the crystal egg hovering within the sky. You watch as she casts some sort of burning ember from her hand. As this flame strikes the crystal egg, you watch as it flashes red. An entire burst spreads throughout the room as you watch herself and the two bodyguards in front of her covered in what looks like some sort of red glowing magical shell. That is going to be her turn, or that's going to be the end of her legendary reaction, which would then bring it to her turn, her actual turn. Okay. You watch as, after she ignites the crystal egg within the sky, she then looks down towards the group. And you watch as she seems to raise her hands up, and as she casts a somatic gesture, you watch as black sulfur spreads throughout her hands, and you see a fireball landing and coming towards your direction. So I'm going to need a dexterity save from everybody.
Well, I got hit by this 12.
Dexterity save.
18.
18?
10. I knew I should have put on that. Negative evasion.
12.
Okay, so I think even when you fail, though, you take half, right?
No.
You take, okay. I thought that was a rogue ability.
Not that I'm
There
aware
is
of.
something that I forgot.
I thought it was an evasion.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, go ahead and so everyone failed besides for Jezebel, who will take the half damage from the explosion. So it is going to be 4, 6, 8, 2, 7, 18, 9, and 12d6 of fire damage. It's going to be. So that is going to be full damage is going to be 28 points of damage.
Oh my God.
Everyone who made their dex save, which should be just Jez, takes half of that.
I have resistance to fire damage.
So you take half damage on it then.
Okay, so you said 28.
Yep, half of that.
Okay,
It's going to be 14. And that is going to be her turn. Up next is going to be Mox. You watch as Mox grabs their mace. You see it burst with what looks like gold holy flame, and they make their charge forward. I actually forgot to grab the item for Mox. Grab it real quick. Grab literally anything. Mox is going to make their move forward. All right. And as Mox moves in, they are going to roll on the blue crab henchman. That's going to be a hit. And I actually get to roll a d12. Ooh. All right, you watch as Mox charges forward, the mace engulfed in this golden flame. As the mace comes up, it lands and cracks down onto this blue crab into its chitin-like chest. You watch as the mace actually fractures and cracks some of the shell. As they pull the mace back, you actually see Dretha getting ready to use her reaction as Mox ends their turn, and is going to use a crab swipe towards Mox. That is going to be a miss. So as Mox made the blow, the crab reached out to take a snip at Mox. Thankfully, Mox was able to duck under the crab claw just in time. That is going to bring us to Jezebel's turn.
Alright, real quick. I wanted to take a little look around real quick to see if I can find whatever's binding Dretha to Tiamat. If anything stands out.
I will let you... You can give me a intelligence save. If you beat a 17.
No.
Nope.
It. Nope.
Okay. As you take a look around the room, you don't see anything that stands out in particular. What you did was basically just a seek. You do have a bonus action if you'd like to use a bonus action.
Blast.
Okay.
Dretha.
Use your Eldritch
Fire
Blast
off,
as a
yeah.
bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget you have inspiration if you need it.
Well, how much did I
Add another d6.
Oh, that might have helped with your intelligence roll.
Another d6 to the roll to do it?
You can add a d6.
So 16 right there. 24.
24 to hit?
Mm-hmm.
And what are you aiming at?
Dretha.
Dretha? Okay. You watch as Yoru conjure that eldritch energy, and as you let loose blast with that black flame screeching across the room, you watch as it slams into what looks like an invisible wall of force and dissipates before it even approaches Dretha. You kind of hear this smug.
I think it's gotta go.
Okay. Is that gonna be your turn?
Yeah.
Lavende, you are on up.
So I've seen all of this happen with the not being able to hit her.
Yeah, this is all happening.
So can I? The only other thing I can think of is to take a shot at the egg.
Sure can try.
Can I? I'm gonna try at least one.
There you go.
Can I? Actually, I want to bonus action first. Can I bonus action using Hex on Dretha? Let's see if that does anything. Oh, it's gonna.
You can bonus action before your action.
Yeah.
In any order. So,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm
you like to do that?
Yeah, I would like to, like, as I'm getting ready to pull back, can I, like, use Hex on her to give her disadvantage on dexterity saves?
Okay, and it's a spell, correct?
Yeah.
All right. As soon as you cast Hex, you watch as this almost pink spiraling has this almost fuchsia-like color to it as it swirls these arcane letters like a corkscrew fly towards Dretha. And you watch as the same thing happens. The spell dissipates before it even hits her.
So I was aiming at her, so since I didn't do anything, I'm going to aim at the egg and try to hit her.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
That is 23.
23.
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
I think it's these. Hold on. Sorry, D&D Beyond understand the words sometimes. D8 plus 6. So 9 damage.
9 damage. As you pull back your bow and fire, you watch as the arrow hits and you hear this almost like crystal cracking sound echo throughout the chamber. You watch as Dretha sort of tightens up and stands and stares with extreme focus on the egg and then back towards you. As soon as you hit it with that, she points her finger towards you. Kill him!
And then, can I still use my extra attack even though I've used the bonus action?
You can use your extra attack if you have
cool.
2 attacks.
Okay, I'm good to do
I
that.
mean, that'd be nice.
Fuck it up,
Cool.
dude.
That is a 25 plus 3.
To hit?
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
was that 28?
Yeah. As if you go over a 10, you'll hit the egg.
Okay. That is 7 plus 6, so 14 plus 17.
17 damage?
Yeah, because I used to.
Fire that second arrow off as you hear her words ring out through the room to eliminate you. It hits, you hear that cracking sound again. You actually watch as you see a line break into the egg. Don't touch that! Okay, is that your turn?
Within reason.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, as soon as your turn ends, it's going to be both red crab and blue crab up first.
I love that they're red and blue.
Our boys, red crab and blue crab.
One crab, 2 crab.
Are they
red
fighting?
Crab, blue crab.
Is it?
Where's
Fuck.
Which one's lavender?
The bow arrow guy.
I can't. Oh, I see it now.
My AC is
You're next to me.
17. Unless you know me.
Okay.
Can we do attack of opportunity?
So, in order to use attack of opportunity, they need to leave your
They
zone.
can't be entering.
Yep.
They-
But, however, the blue one did leave
Mox.
Mox's. So Mox,
she upset no?
she is.
You might
Yo.
not be up there.
Misses, unfortunately.
Oh.
Okay, so as the red crab and blue crab both charge forward, the red one literally hunkers down, arm in this shield-like motion as it moves forward to slam and crush into you. It is going to roll to attack.
Okay. Like I said, my AC is 17.
Okay, that is going to be a 16 plus 4. That's a hit.
Really just hits.
And then the blue one is also going to swing as well. Blue one misses.
I'm going to use my cloud rune, and I'm going to make. It's going to be. Okay, so I touched the rune, and I'm going to redirect the attack on his buddy right next to him.
Oh, so this is your reaction.
Yeah, using my reaction.
Okay, here, use your reaction. Okay, is there a save for that?
No. So when you a creature you see it, you can see within 30 feet of you hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to choose a different creature within 30 feet of you to become the target of the attack instead, using the same roll.
Beautiful. All right.
I can only do that once.
I'll go ahead and roll the damage then.
So, no. Don't. Flip you.
Okay, you watch as this red crab raises up its arm, and you watch as it almost does this weird, strange dizziness spin as it kind of stops and shakes its head, and then swings wildly to the left. You watch as its large, armored-like claw arm smash into its friend, its ally, as it knocks up against it. You watch as this blue blood starts to squirt out from the throat of this blue crab. All right, that is both of their turns, and will bring us back up to the top of the round. Kaz.
All right. So. I'm going to try something that I haven't tried yet. I'm going to loosen one hand. I'm going to summon forth Shadow Blade at 3rd level. And I'm going to use it as a throwing weapon. It counts as a finesse weapon, And as a thrown property of 20/60, so I'm assuming it can go up to 60 feet?
Yeah, you can go up to 60 feet. I believe at 60 feet is like at a disadvantage because it's long range.
Okay.
20 is without a disadvantage.
Okay. And it deals 3d8 of psychic damage. And it's considered a melee weapon attack, so I'm assuming it uses my attributes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that. I have so many d10s. Can I borrow a d8 from someone?
I mean, I don't even know why you have so many d10s.
It's like a
vampire or
play
something.
vampire or something. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll to hit. And that's going to be. You said disadvantage, correct?
If it's over 20 feet, it'll be a disadvantage.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's 18 to hit.
18 to hit?
Yep.
All right. To hit Dretha?
No, I'm going for the egg.
Oh, you're going for the egg. Okay.
So that's 4, 10, 14 plus 5, 19 damage.
Okay. Now you watch as Kaz summons this shadow-like short blade within his hand, and as he releases, you watch as the blade flies through the air, and as it strikes, you watch as the blade dissipates and turns into this black purple-like smoke and disappears. But then, within an instant, you watch that red glowing energy around the egg switch, and it turns into this dark purple energy. You watch as this burst goes throughout the room. You watch as Dretha looks at both ends, and you see both the crab individuals get covered in this purple-like shell. You watch as Dretha stands up. Impressive. Can I give you your turn?
Can I detonate the...
Sure can.
Alright, I'm going to detonate it. And so the saving throw, did you already make it?
She fails.
Okay.
Roll
so,
damage.
So that's
12d6, and you held it for one round, so that's 13d6.
cool.
So delayed fireball, if you hold for every round you hold, it increases in damage. The bead gets larger.
12.
Really?
It's essentially a fire-directed fire spirit bomb. You can hold it, concentrate. The spell lasts 60 seconds, so I think realistically, I guess you do 6 divided by 60. Because each turn is supposed to be about, or oh no, you'd have to count each individual person. Yeah, so 6 divided by 60. Yeah, that's still the same thing.
17. 14, 6. Alright.
Math.
Plus 6. 51 damage.
Very well.
I didn't know anything.
You
about
watch as Kaz, as soon as the egg transforms and this purple energy shreds throughout the room, Kaz brings his other hand up, and you watch as it closes. This detonation explodes. You watch Dretha's body get flung from the crab and hit the ground and slide across the stone. You watch as this smoldering explosion begins to dissipate. You see nothing but a massive crater on top of this crab throne's head as it hits the ground, seemingly lifeless.
That's huge.
It's a zombie
Do you feel me now, Mr. Krabs? Feel me now.
Is that gonna be your turn?
Right now.
And then, yeah, I believe that should be my turn. Yep.
Okay. You watch as Dretha is going to go ahead and use her legendary action. You watch as she gets up, and you see her begin to hover up off the ground.
Where is she now? On the map.
She would have went about here,
Okay.
but I can't remove her from the crab.
Yeah, that's fine.
The crab is with her always.
The crab is always with her.
She has crabs.
She's one with the crab.
You watch as she rises up off the ground, and as she begins to levitate and float, you see her feet leave the ground, and she begins to float. You see these draconic-like, ghostly wings emerge behind her back. Enough games. And as she opens her eyes, they seem to be burning with what looks like elemental rage. She looks down towards the room, and you watch as she brings her hands up, and she casts what looks like a surge of prismatic energy.
Well, I can
So-
tell you right now what I'm doing.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll to see what colors come flying out.
This is a first for me.
What? Get hit by this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Okay, oddly enough, it's gonna be fire. So I'm gonna go ahead and need a dexterity saving throw from everybody again.
I'm going to use my reaction to use absorb elements.
All right.
Just
19 for me.
just so we're aware.
11. Even
Oof, 6.
even this.
That is going to be
You use an absorb elements, right? What's that do? It just absorbs it, right?
Yeah, it has the damage.
Has the damage, okay.
I believe.
23.
23? Okay, so everyone succeeded except for, looks like Falner and Jezebel.
You have resistance to the triggering damage check until the start of the next turn.
Wait, what
Got
was the what's it?
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
What, 19?
Yeah, I know, he said you made it.
Oh. Oh, okay. I see.
So everyone made it besides for Lavada and Jezebel. Go ahead and roll that damage there. Okay, so that's going to be 14 damage for the total for everyone who failed. Have it if you had the resistance or if you guys succeeded your dex check.
Hellish Rebuke.
You're going to use Hellish Rebuke.
Yes.
Is that ranged?
Yes.
Do I have the half?
60
If
feet.
you had a resistance and you also succeeded, yeah, half to half.
What was that half?
So round it down.
So is that half?
7.
7?
7 is the half, so it would be
3?
3.
Okay.
No, it'd be 4 because it.
Just yeah, round it up. Round it up.
Yeah.
4 damage.
It's a dex saving throw.
Okay. See what she rolls here. That is going to be a 5 plus 3.
2d10 fire damage. Let's see. Oh, so wait. Using spell slot. Second.
I
Okay.
don't know if it's
2d10.
like a barrier anymore.
That's 7, 14, 11 damage.
11 damage. So, as you get struck with that blast, you watch as Jezebel's eyes, her green piercing eyes with that black sclera, you watch as the green disappears. Everything goes black. There's this fiendish embrace that goes across her face where this twisted facial expression of just raw demonic rage unleashes back towards Dretha, and as it slams into her body, you watch as she recoils and she plummets and lands onto her feet. You see she kind of starts backing up. This is really, how are you all this strong? And you watch as she starts to back up. Is that gonna be your turn? Or actually, that was just a reaction to that. This brings up to Mox's turn, actually, or Falner's turn.
Can you explain the egg to me again? Does it look like it is still up there?
It is still up there currently.
And does it look like it's still powering them?
It does seem to be still active, yes.
Alright. I'm gonna take out my giant storm boomerang
Oh, okay.
and I'm going to chuck it at it. And I think it does thunder damage if I remember.
It does do thunder damage.
3d4 if I hit. Alright, let's see. Plus 10. Natural 20. So 30 altogether.
Okay. Roll your damage. That's double damage, by the way.
So, doesn't double dice?
You just roll the dice twice. So whatever the damage was, roll it twice.
Plus 6, so 20 damage.
Okay. You just watch Falner grab from his back and pulls the giant Stormarang. This device is something used by storm giants in particular. Its crude shape has this almost curved lightning bolt-like design to it. And you watch as he goes and brings his arm back in almost like a baseball pitch-like style. He then double grabs the Stormarang and launches it towards the egg as this projectile lets loose. It sounds like rolling thunder as it crackles through the room. As it strikes and slams, there's a explosion that detonates right next to the egg. There's a quick flash of this cyan-like color and shell that begins to flash over everybody and then quickly dissipates as you watch as this egg begins to flash multiple colors: red, green, purple, cyan, pink. And as it begins to slowly hit the ground, you watch as the egg lands and shatters. You watch as soon as this happens, the two crab hulks look towards each other. And they collapse to the ground. You see Dretha on her hands and her knees crawls towards the egg. Is that gonna be the end of your turn?
No. I want to beat the egg.
Punish her.
Okay.
As she's crawling up to it. You all out of allies. You get a second win and a little strike.
Go ahead and roll the hit. I'll give you advantage on it as well. She's on the ground.
$27 to hit.
Roll damage.
That is 6 plus 4. 16 damage.
16. You watch as Folder brings his blade up. And you watch as he brings it down with force. And you watch as the blade sinks deep. And you watch it all the way down into her chest cavity. You watch as she begins to cough up blood. As she grabs the blade, you hear her, Tiamat, help, help. Meanwhile, in another scene.
Whoa. Why can't we finish this first?
Because this has something to do with what's going on.
Meanwhile, outside the Blood Iron Citadel. You see Taku approaches Hakan. Kind of elbows him. Hey, pretty good, huh? Kind of just tore through him. Hakan has this serious, stoic look. He normally does, but even more so in this moment. Now's not the time for joking. What do you mean? We already won! Yes. Enjoy it. Also, just saying, these crab people, it tastes pretty good. I'm serious. I don't like the feeling of this look around. As Taku takes a moment and starts staring. Notice anything? There's a lot of dead crab people. The giants. Look at them. They have haven't broken formation. Broodlings are gone. Why are they still positioned like that? Unless they're expecting another assault. Or they're getting ready to attack. Hey. I think you're just being paranoid. There's no reason for us to... Taku takes a moment and stares at the group. As his eyes glance back and forth, he looks at the giants' faces, whispering, looking at each other, staring back towards the Widowmakers. No sight of King Rhinebeard until he emerges. You see him stand at the forefront of the remaining warriors. And as he raises his broken trident, he points towards the Widowmakers. And within an instant, the remaining giant warriors charge and descend down into the Widowmakers. You watch as Taku's eyes go wide, Hakan immediately jumping forward, grabbing his rhyme steel hammer. He leaps into the fray, meeting the giants head on, catching the rest of the group by surprise. A battle breaks out. Back in the keep.
That was an inappropriate transition. Back in the keep. Everything's fine. We're fine. This is fine.
You watch as she begs and pleads for Tiamat. Shards on the ground begin to shake. You watch as they begin to reconnect until it forms a solid egg. You watch as this shadow then stretches out on the ground. You watch as 5 heads stretch and loom throughout the throne room. The wings then expand behind the heads until you watch the shadows all swell and form together. Long black hair begins to rise out of the pool of shadow. A female form begins to rise up. Elegant, beautiful woman. Stare at her. The only sign of benevolence is the piercing anger and rage set within her eyes. You watch as she steps forward. The shadows now forming into her long gown and dress. Still in their incorporeal shadow-like form, the very edges of her shadow, you see these 5 heads curling and snarling at each other, facing the party. You have failed me, Dretha. Again. You watch as she... I am your humble servant. Finish her. I do not need weakness. Finish her. She stares and looks deeply into your eyes. Could you please go ahead and give me a... Could you give me a, wisdom saving throw? Everybody.
Is this... Is it charm?
No.
Okay.
This is not charm.
Okay.
This is the very opposite of charm.
I got
Well, I
two.
didn't know she was like trying
2?
to.
It's 12 for me.
Gonna need a 15 or higher.
Oh no, I got a natural one.
Christ.
I literally have a little bit of 8
So
today.
maybe it's inspiration soul.
No, you already used it.
Stupid. This game's stupid.
Oh, I got 8.
All 4 of you stand. You don't know why. You're not even sure what this form is. You could have a guess. But for some reason, almost like the strongest, purest form of anxiety or panic attack that you've ever experienced, you are frozen in pure fear.
Oh, is it full frightened? I have an advantage against that.
You could roll your wisdom save again.
It's no better.
You are still
What
Panic.
the fuck?
You don't necessarily feel like you can flee, but you definitely do not feel as though you could take a step towards her. Falner, what do you do?
I look down at Dretha. I'm back up to the lady. I don't do your dirty work.
You notice as you raise your head, you almost have a shake in your mouth as you speak out towards her. Bravery. Foolish. And admirable. You watch as she makes her way over towards Dretha and puts her hand on top of her head. Slowly pats it. Some creatures lack your conviction. As you watch as her head completely spin around, she pulls Dretha's body off of your blade. Her hand then reaches down and runs along the blood of your blade, bringing her finger up. You have something that belongs to me. That is my son in your hands. Not now, but someday. I will send a more worthy champion to claim it for me.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to your next champion just like I gave it to your last one.
Good. I can taste your rage. For such an insignificant, sniveling creature, you'd be a fun chew toy. I don't think your friends are faring so well, though.
I'll look back up the crew.
The fuck does that mean?
Oh,
Some half on fire.
no. Not in here. Outside. As she brings her hand up. And you watch as this image begins to form out of this magical cloud. And you start to see what looks like flashes and glimpses of a battle breaking out outside the citadel. At first, looks like as though the giants might be possibly fighting against broodlings until you see one of the giants move forward, and with a swing of their club, you watch as it smacks into Brutka. You watch as her body crumbles and crushes beneath the blow before she's sent flying. You see this quick flash of Taku as he looks over. As he screams and roars, you watch as he charges up and lets loose a torrent of axe blows against the giant, completely disemboweling it as he crawls over it and continues to hack it to pieces in a pure primal rage. You watch as the cloud disappears. I wonder how long they'll last.
I'm immediately leaving.
You can't.
Why?
You can't move. You feel frozen in fear.
This long?
Yes. You notice that she puts her hand out. I will help your friends and give them refuge until you arrive. If you make a deal with me. Bear my mark, so that my worshippers will always know where you are, and you will fight them forever. If you're worthy enough for that blade. After all, you said you would give them the same greeting, would you not?
I would give them the same greeting.
Or your friends die.
So the deal is, you put mark on me and I fight all your champions.
How many? What are the stipulations? There's fine print with this sort of thing.
I do not work like the other devils of hell. I work through power. You take my mark, my champions will seek you. You fall, they take the blade. You kill them, I send more.
For all time.
Are you not a champion? I sense your pride.
No, I'm not a champion.
And at every second that goes by, your friends die outside.
I'm no champion. I'm a king.
Heavy lies the crown.
I accept your challenge.
You feel your hand able to reach up.
The shake.
You touch.
I do.
As your hand hits it, you realize that she's not even material. Your hand passes right through it. And as it does, you feel that shadow begin to swirl around the room. And as it does, you see it. And you see it slam into your chest and out your back. And as it does, you raise up your hand. And you see this draconic rune begin to form and swirl around your arm. And it goes all the way up onto your neck and down your arm. And with that, you all feel this release. You actually felt like you couldn't even breathe, but you are now free.
I'm running.
You gonna run?
I'm turning around, I'm pulling out my Macfomated Cittern. It's the name of the special instrument.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Fly on myself, and I'm flying straight to the...
All right. At this point, you all turn and run. As you do, you notice that Fallner takes the lead. As he takes the lead, he flies forward. You notice that the halls are empty and barren. No one stands between you and your exit. As you reach the entrance of the Blood Citadel, you come out to the sound of screaming and fighting. You notice that you can see where your ship is. Currently, it is swarmed by giants. However, you lock eyes on your party first, Falmer. You see a dome around your party. This translucent, what looks like a shell, seems to be guarding. The giants are slamming their way, trying to break into this shell, but nothing they do seems to have any effect. Do you wait for your friends to show up?
I'm going straight to Ron Beard.
Okay.
Get his attention.
So, do you call out for him?
Yeah.
As you get about 50 feet, you stop and you let loose this cry, Rybeard! As you scream his name. As you do, you notice the giants stop their assault upon the keep, or upon the shell. At this point, your companions make their way and approach behind you. You look around, and you notice that not only are your allies look like they are hurt, badly wounded, the four of you are outnumbered by at least 100, or not 100, but at least 25 giants, including Rybeard himself. You notice that the crowd begins to break and split apart as Rybeard makes his approach. Ha ha! Clan Wildheart!
What is the meaning of this?
You want to claim Heartkiller's blade? You want to take the crown? Ah! I would rather die than see some small, insignificant, tiny creature hold that title. As he raises up in his hand, you see Tinsel's body. His legs ripped off, his intestines and entrails dangling from his chest cavity. Your kind are nothing. Holmgang! I challenge thee! Holmgang! You instantly know what he is doing. The Holmgang is a traditional rite, a duel to the death, a battle. Any claim, any argument must be settled with death. Only two opponents. Whoever the victor claims claim as the rightful and correct individual.
Thank you for challenging me as what I was about to do to you. I'm ready. Out of character, how long was it between the fight started and no? Like where we started the fight with Drefna?
I'd say probably about 10 minutes.
I'm gonna heal from the
Yeah.
Fauna, I kind of want to take a few slices out of this inbred piece of shit myself, so I don't know if this whole challenge thing is really in your best interest.
It is. It's a kind of a rut at this point.
I don't give a fuck. Look what he did to Tensor.
Oh, he's not to pay for it, I promise.
Do all of you make your way over to the shell? Or you want to stay with Falmer?
How many feet away is the shell?
From where you guys are, you guys can probably, it's probably about 50 feet away. You guys,
Sure. I'll go over there.
You notice as soon as you all approach, you notice that King Rybeard, lay down your arms! He looks towards all of his soldiers, his warriors. No one is to be touched until the Holmgang is done. I will take my prize. You notice as he raises up his trident, you know that if anyone at this point does anything as far as aggressive combat outside of the Holmgang, it would be considered moot, and whoever initiated it would be considered the dishonorable one. Do you all go as well with Jezebel?
I'm going to be surveying all the dead bodies, like the crab people, and just kind of taking that in.
It is a massacre. The giants massacred them.
Because they really didn't leave anybody alive. They didn't deserve this.
It's sad. I'm gonna make my way onto this ship.
As you guys get over to the ship, which is protected by the shell, as you come in there, you see that Barry makes his way over towards you, and as Barry does, you notice that he is missing an arm. He raises up his arm. Hey, Captain!
Oh, Barry, no.
You notice that Claudia has already healed him. Claudia looks towards you. She looks exhausted. Bullets are coming down her head. I'm sorry, Captain. I saved as many as I could.
It's not your fault.
Igor's. We lost Igor too. As you look over, you can see that there's only 2 other corpses that are lying on the boat. It looks as though Igor and Brutka. You notice that Taku is currently bent over and sobbing over Brutka's body. You notice that even Marigold at this moment looks as though he is in absolute tears. You look around at the rest of the crew. Sky is hurled up in a corner, is absolutely, looks like she's petrified after this assault. And you see that Hakan is also up there as well. He looks beat the shit up. He is battered, bruised, bloodied. Anything the 3 of you would like to do when you're up there?
Yeah, there's no time for weeping. We can do that later. Help me move the cannons to point towards them, in case things go south.
Hakan.
So I'm gonna head up and start moving cannons across to their side, so we can aim and fire in case Faller loses.
As Taku gets up. Let me at him! I'll rip him to shreds!
We can't do that right now, Talkin. They're doing some honorable bullshit. Just help me with this for now.
As he moves over to help, you notice that the giant crowd has now spread out. They've created what looks like a circle arena. You notice the giants all begin to as they bash and pound into their chest. As King Rhinebeard walks into the ring, he raises his arms in triumphant. I am your king! Look forth how I single-handedly destroyed the broodlings! I used these pawns to destroy Dretha, and now the beast is ours! You notice there's this roarous cry, but it's halfway. Go ahead and give me a perception check from anyone who's watching the event and not working on other things. What'd you get?
I got 12.
With a 12 is still high enough to see this. You notice as Rhinebeard is making his proclamation of victory, there are giants that are kind of looking both back and forth at each other, and they're confused on the situation as well. You notice that Rhinebeard looks towards you as he sticks his trident into the ground. No retreat. You claim to be giant. Let's see if you're really not a mug.
I'll red my blood.
You watch as he grabs his trident. You see with his back of his heel, he kicks it. You watch as it spin in his hand. As he grabs it. Let's finish this. As he begins to circle.
Before we get started, are we still on the ship 90 feet away?
Yeah, you guys are on the ship. You guys are not.
Can I see?
You guys are right next to this.
So from the deck, higher up point, can I see?
Yeah, from the
King
deck, they're
Ironbeard?
probably about 15 feet away.
Question. Does chain shot require 2 cannons or 1?
What?
Chain shot?
Chain shot is 2 cannonballs
Yeah.
linked together. They both go in the same cannon.
Okay. So while this is going on, we're getting a cannon ready. How many cannonballs do we have left?
You guys are pretty sparse. I would say you have probably about 10 altogether. Chain shot, you've got about 3 left, and then normal cannonballs, you got about 10.
Okay. So my plan is, if things do go south, I'm going to use enlarge on a cannon and a chain shot.
Okay. You notice that King Rhinebeard looks towards you as he begins to circle holding his trident. Roll initiative. 17 for him.
I also rolled 17, but plus 4, so 21.
You're first.
How far away is he from you?
This whole pit is no more than 30 feet in size.
Perfect.
So basically, no matter where you're at in this, you guys can... He can definitely hit you from any angle at this point.
Well then, 3rd level, I'm casting Chromatic Orb at him. I'm making it lightning. It's a plus 9 to hit against... No, it's just plus 9 to hit. So 19 to hit.
Okay. Roll damage.
Need these. Okay. Uh, 26 fire damage, or lightning damage.
You watch as Falner casts this chromatic orb, moves towards Rhinebeard. The lightning crackles and pops off the orb as it crashes into his body. You see Rhinebeard recoil as he growls and yells at you, "You coward! Using magic!" As he runs, as you end with your turn.
Bonus action. I'm not sure I can do anything with that. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right. Can I please get a dex saving throw from you?
Dex saving throw.
Yes.
That is 14.
Okay. You hear it as Rhinebeard brings his hand up. You watch as this swirling torrent of water kind of wraps around his hand. You hear this bubbling tide start to rise behind you. As you quickly turn your head, you notice there's this torrent, this crashing wave moving towards you. As you jump out of the way, it looks like he was trying to blindside you with a wave. Soon as you dive out of the way, you see him coming down with his trident to stab you. Roll a hit. Natural 1.
Good start.
You watch as he goes to stab you. Thankfully, he broke off the center of his trident. Gave it to you. As his trident strikes against the ground, the 2 prongs hit. You fit perfectly right between the 2. You notice he kind of does this double take. Before he pulls the trident back up, and he goes for his second attack. Just swing. Next one is an 8.
No.
As he swings, you dive right underneath it as well.
Alright. And then I'm going to attack his Achilles tendon.
Okay. It is a cold shot, so it's going to be a disadvantage. No, unfortunately, that does not hit.
Well,
You watch as you go to take that swing towards his Achilles tendon, his foot rises up off the ground and skips over it.
I will move behind him about 10 feet.
Okay.
I'll do my 10.
As it is, you notice that he brings the staff up, and he starts to do this cycling torrent as he just begins to almost spin in this barbarian-like style. Could you go ahead and give me a dex save?
That's 17.
17. Very well. Oh, you dodged it. However, you will take half the damage. So 10 damage. It was 20 altogether, but half would be 10. You watch as Falder meets his blade against the trident. You watch as it is bouncing off of the trident blade. You're effectively blocking it. You can feel yourself getting hit by the pieces of his trident that are chipping away, slicing across your face from the shrapnel. That is going to be his turn, so it's back to you.
I want to take a slice at him.
Okay.
No. 13.
13? Okay. That does not hit.
That's all I can do.
All right. As he brings his trident up, he's going to swing again as he strikes down towards you. That is going to be a 14.
Nope.
And the next one will be a 2 14s in a row. As he brings his weapon up, you watch as you dodge out of the way. As you dodge out of the second one. Your turn again.
So nice made this one. 24.
That's a hit.
That is 14 damage.
All right. You watch as Falner, as he dodges both blows, he brings the blade back, and you run forward and you drive it. You actually feel the blade go right between his shin bone and his calf muscle. You see it go as you pull it out. Blood begins to pour down his calf. You twerp.
He's been gone a long
Quite the
time.
vocabulary.
He's been gone a long time.
That's my turn.
All right. Notice that he brings his foot up, and at this point, it looks as though he starts to go into this rampaging like stomp as you see him begin to move for you in this crushing foot-like fashion. This is going to be another dexterity saving throw for you.
That one is 13.
Okay, this one you do not succeed. So you will take the full damage and you will be knocked prone. So that is only going to be 16 damage.
He also takes 20 damage from
The shield.
back of his seat.
So as you watch as his foot, as it comes crashing down on you, you watch as your spell kind of creates this phantasmal-like spike shell as his foot sticks into it. But you feel the force of his body, the kinetic damage, boom, as you slam it into the ground. You are now currently prone as he backs up. Thankfully, you have done all the damage to one leg. His one leg is starting to get beat up.
Alright. I'll stand up. I use half movement.
Half your movement, yep. But this is such a small zone. Like, you guys are both within striking range through the whole thing.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna use Booming Blade with my Skullbreaker.
Okay.
That is Unnatural 20.
It's a hit.
There. So Booming Blade is... So it's 3d6 plus 6, and then on d8. So... that is 17 damage, and then full damage of thunder damage. And then I'm going to use all my movement to get away from him. So he has to move towards me. And the moment he moves towards me, he takes another 2d8 of damage.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, again, you are within strike range of this whole thing.
Oh,
How much damage was that?
altogether, that was 21 damage.
All right.
Right,
Another
20 damage.
solid blow as you strike against the leg. You watch as this fury begins to build upon his face. You see him raise up his trident. You watch him begin to spin as he sticks it directly into the ground. Great beast, I demand your strength! And you watch as he plunges it into the flesh of this Leviathan. You watch as this green energy begins to siphon out of it, as you watch as his muscles begin to... More! As he begins to grow larger and larger, you see him get to the point where he far now exceeds his normal size and height. You hear this moan roll throughout the Leviathan as he pulls it out. And he moves forward to strike down on you. That is going to be 18 plus 9.
Barely hits. He takes 20 damage.
He did move forward.
Oh, then he...
Yeah.
So he takes 10 thunder damage, and the 20 from hitting me.
Okay. You watch as soon as he pulls the trident from the ground, he moves forward. This steam, this green steam is rising off of his body. You watch as your thunder damage pummels into his flesh. You watch as it almost anime style, like dents in before it pops back out. As he swings his trident, you actually dodge it completely, but the backlash, the force of the blow, then strikes into your form. It's almost like a sucker punch to your stomach. You get sent hurling back as you get slammed into the crowd of giants before they push you back in. You hit the ground. You take 30 points of damage.
I would like to enter the initiative.
You can try.
You can try to enter it? Depending on what?
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hex him.
Okay. Are you doing this discreetly?
I'll tell you how I do it once it's my turn.
Okay.
2, 6, 7, 8, 12.
So you would be going right after Ryan.
Okay.
So it's your
So
turn.
he's done?
Yeah, that was his
Okay.
turn.
I'm gonna take a look, see if any of the giants are looking my way.
They're all focused on the fight.
Alright, I'm gonna duck down anyway. So I kind of have like the spindles of the rails of the boat around me, and I'm just gonna make it so I can just kind of peek through at him.
Okay.
And now. Okay. I'm gonna double check again that no one's looking.
You can give me a perception check.
Dude, I keep rolling 4s. That's an 8.
Doesn't look like anyone's looking.
But I assume they're all watching the fight.
They are paying attention to the
Alright,
fight.
I'm gonna hex him.
Okay. Does this have a is this a visual spell?
Visual, somatic, and
Material.
yeah. So
Okay.
petrified I knew, which I have.
All right. Is there a save for it?
No, I just just does it
No.
automatically.
Okay.
It's 1d6 necrotic damage. Every time it's my turn. Also gonna give him a disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Okay. You watch as Jez kind of casts this spell. This swirling magic sort of hovers around his head before this. As he kind of.
It's not visual.
He looks around.
Okay.
He can feel the effect happening though.
Oh, but you should be able to see anything.
He didn't see anything, but he felt a spell hit him. As he looks back towards Falder.
Deceitful tactics won't save you.
Your turn.
Okay. I'll get up. No, I'm already up on that.
Yeah, you're on your feet.
Because they pushed me. Alright, so I'm going to attack him again. That is 24 to hit.
That's a hit.
Uh, 10 damage. No, sorry. 16 damage. For 6. And then for a bonus action, I'm going to use Healing Wood on myself. That's 3rd level.
Okay.
3d4 plus 5. So I hit for 14.
As you move forward, from the push back into it, you watch as he screams something about deceitful tactics before you stumble forward and you slash at his leg. You feel your blade sink into the muscle as he kind of does this shin thrust forward and throws you back off as you back and you cast your healing spell to heal yourself. You see him begin to walk forward.
Already in trouble.
He brings up his weapon again.
Let's finish this.
You watch as he brings the trident up. You watch as the green energy begins to swirl into the trident.
Now, you die.
And he comes down. An overhead chop.
How many times can I use the commune with?
You can use it 3 times a day.
Can I do that while this is happening?
Sure can.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, we can go ahead and cut it right there. Because at this moment, Falner, as he's swinging the weapon down, everything's starting to go in slow motion for you.
Okay, so I know I get 3 things to ask. I want to immediately be like, I want to help you so bad, but without him, I can't help you. Please, is there anything you could do to help him right now?
As soon as you begin trying to communicate with the primordial and you ask that question, you get this imagery of the waves crashing into the sands, and you watch the sun and the moon continue to spin. And you get the sensation that time, just more time.
How do I do that? I need to help him.
You see this imagery of this turtle hatching from its egg, crawling out of the hole in the sand, slowly moving towards the ocean. And you get this sensation of the necessity of growth and struggle. And it's this point you realize the primordial is telling you this is something Falner must do.
But what if he can't do it?
You get that same imagery of the sun rising over and over and over. You begin to understand that one does not worry that the sun will not rise. You must have faith.
I hope you're right. I'm going to like summon my staff and just kind of put it in front of me and put my chin on it and just watch.
As this strike and blow comes down, your blade meets his trident. It's 19 plus 9, so I'm assuming that's a hit. Okay. I don't need a roll for this because he's using it all. Fulner. As soon as you block the blade, you feel that green energy disperse as he pushes it through his trident into your scar breaker. As you feel it shocking through your body feels like it is on fire, being ripped to pieces. You were put down to 1 HP. As you stand there, locked blades with him, you feel like your legs are sinking into the rock. You notice his head moves down close.
You were never going to be able to beat me. How dare you think you could stand before me?
As you hear his voice beginning to drown out, you have this feeling start to well up in you as you're holding the blade. You hear this disembodied voice.
Sure.
As you watch as Fallner's head begins to rise up, you see his eyes ignite with what looks like searing white energy. You watch as his hair begins to almost begin to rise with this torrent of air around you. As you start to raise your head, you begin to push your arm up as Rhinebeard.
What?
Everything stops and slows down. You see yourself sitting at the foot of your grandfather's chair as he is puffing away on his pipe.
You see, it's not the size of the giants that should matter. It's the size of your heart, boy. The giants aren't evil. They've just lost their way. Just going to take someone who's good to show them. To make them remember. Just someone with a big heart.
And as you flash back to the fight, you feel yourself surging with this power from Scarbreaker as you throw his trident up. You watch as he brings his weapon up. You are put to full HP. It is your turn.
I want to my necrotic just because I can't do it.
It goes up.
Points in
It goes
necrotic
before now.
damage.
I didn't know if it went away after. Yeah, that's a thing.
Alright, I made it. Alright. It's my turn.
Yeah?
Cut him in half.
I take a step forward and I swing it as hard as I can.
Holy shit.
What a time to have
Yeah.
an extra 20.
Wow.
It always happens, man. Always happens.
Literally rolled 3 ones.
It's double dice damage. Right
Yes, yes. What's 3 1
So I'm at 3 right now.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's just the universe humbling you.
Like, alright, take down notch,
So,
So
bud.
11 plus 6, 17.
As you move forward, you watch as Fallner takes his one step. And as he does, there's this shockwave that emits from his foot. As Rhinebeard takes a step back. No! No! I am king! I am ruler! Roar! And as he brings his weapon up and to strike down, you both meet weapons at the exact same time. And as they do, they clash. And there's this boom of energy that pushes everyone in the crowd slides back on their feet as the two of you stand face to face, staring each other down, eye to eye, as you watch Fallner begin to rise. Not off the ground, but in stature, as his arms and his legs begin to grow. You watch as he gets taller and bigger, till he stares Rhinebeard face to face, and as you see Rhinebeard's eyes open wide, his last words, "Heart killer," before your blade snaps through his trident and takes his head. And there is this arc that follows your blade as it rips through him. You see his body fall to his knees as he leans forward and crashes into the ground. Your body begins to slowly shrink back down. And as it does, you watch as the giants stand in awe. And in giant, you hear them chant, "Little giant, little giant, little giant, little giant, little giant," as it begins to ring throughout the room. The giants move in. And they kneel. And that's the end of the combat. You watch as the shell then dissipates and disappears. Watch as the giant make their way forward. You actually recognize the one that you first ran into. You see, he gets on his knees and his hands, puts his forehead to the ground.
King,
I'll sheath the sword. I survey the ground, the whole battlefield.
As you look throughout the battlefield, you watch as King Rhinebeard's trident, broken in 2 pieces now. You watch this green energy beginning to pour out of it. Like this green mist begins to spread throughout the ground. You watch it climb the walls of this beast, and you watch as these lesions, these wounds begin to heal.
And as I'm watching that, I take out the conch and I'm going to blow into it right there.
As you blow into the conch, that swell, that magic, you watch as it begins to amplify, and you see all the energy from King Rhinebeard's body begin to leave him. The tridents. Lavende, you feel this sense of relief, this sense of this weightlessness. You can sense that the creature is healing. The infection is gone.
As he's doing that, I'm going to walk up to him until he's finished. Walk up to Fallner.
How many giants are there now?
You said there's about 20 of them, 20, 25. There are more that are further away, but those are like the women and the children and the non-warriors. And the elderly as well.
Too long have the sea giants. Too long have the sea giants been away from the outside world. I think it's time for them to rejoin it, leave this beast, and more importantly, be the voice of my claim. Rejoin the Ordning, find your place.
You notice that the giants begin to move.
Wildheart. Clan Wildheart. Clan Wildheart. Clan Wildheart.
As they look around,
From this day forward, we are all blood of Wildheart. Therefore we bear his name.
he looks towards you.
My chieftain. I know how to leave the beast. When you are ready, I will take you there.
Good. We have much to talk about before we part ways.
Yes, chieftain.
I'll go over to Ron Bean. Did he have one of the crowns? One of the pieces of the crown?
You know that basically anything you can use anything. It's sort of a DIY crown. Essentially, you take a trophy from the fallen, and that becomes a piece of your crown.
So could the
You could use a piece of his armor. You could use a piece of his trident. You could use anything and fashion it to the crown.
then I will take a piece of the trident.
Okay.
And I'll look back at the others.
They're on the ship.
We're on the ship, yeah.
I'm the only one who's still
I'll look towards them,
I'm gonna start preparing the dead.
Okay.
and then I'll look over at Tensel's body. That was for you. And then I saw heading back to the ship.
You leave him there.
Is he still there at my feet or something?
King Rhinebeard threw him to the ground.
Oh. Then no, I don't leave him there. In what state is he in exactly?
You don't know where his legs are.
Oh yeah, I'll leave him there. I'm not going to disturb the dead right now.
Okay.
But I will stay there for now. And then who's closest to me, Lavender?
Yeah.
Well, that happened.
Who would have known that it was him who was the infection? And I wanted to help you, but the beast kind of knew better. I watched everything. We all did. You did very good. But you have to realize that you don't try to judge them too harshly. They don't just like the crab people. They were just doing what they were told. They didn't know any better.
But can't help but feel like I did trust them a little, or at least Romby a little too much. And maybe if I was a little bit more cautious, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
I think I would like that to be true, but I feel like this was bound to happen eventually with us.
Poor Tinsel.
He didn't deserve that.
Bruca. Did anyone else die?
I don't know, I haven't been up on ship yet. I was more shocked by the amount of dead that they left behind. They didn't really care about anybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking at the tattoo I have now.
You watch as it goes on your right arm and it moves all the way up. As the runes have now solidified into an actual image, and it does appear to be a 5-headed dragon that runs all the way up your arm until the heads curl over towards your neck and your chest.
I fear I may have signed us up for more trouble down the road.
You know, it is at that point where I feel like we have a lot of trouble, and it's just going to keep coming towards us. So I wouldn't judge yourself either too harshly. You did what you felt like you had to do. When you defeated Rhinebeard and everything kind of started healing, I could feel the beast. It felt like it was getting better. At the end of the day, that is what's most important to me. I wish I could have done something better about everything, but you were the one who saved everyone the way you could.
Two of you like to be doing?
I'm just getting rid of dead.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and make my way towards Fauna.
Okay.
Is he still big?
No, he went back down to his normal size.
That was weird. Hey there, buddy.
Hey?
What was all that?
Well, I told you many times, I'm giant.
So that's not the first time you've done that?
No, that was the first time I did that.
So that is new to you.
Yeah.
Alright, that's kind of what I'm asking, so... You're saying that's because you're giant?
Well, do you believe it now?
I mean, I don't know, you know, maybe I'm more inclined to believe you, but I will say I'm impressed.
Thank you, Cotton. I would like... I do plan on having them, these giants, leave this beast alone. And most importantly, I'm going to have them find themselves a place to live, to regrow, and they will not be what they were today.
Right,
And
so...
hopefully, when they will enter the cold to help us fight the Kraken.
Right, so about all that, you kind of have to figure out how to get out of here first, so...
Oh, sorry. One of the giants, they do know a way out of here.
Oh, that's good information to know.
Right. So, when the time's right, they said they'll lead us to where we get out.
Can I look back at where the citadel was? Is that healed? Because you said it was made, it looked like it was made from the blood.
Yeah, it looks like you actually see what looks like the citadel is starting to crumble to pieces.
I'm gonna, after the bodies are decent, I'm gonna start walking towards Fauna and the rest of them.
As Kaz is walking up, I'm gonna go and grab Tinsel's top half. Well, actually, I'm gonna look for his bottom half.
Okay.
As this all goes on.
It doesn't take you long, you find it.
I'm gonna collect him.
Okay.
Just gonna look down at Fauna and look past him and look at all the carnage and the bodies. And look down in his eyes. I'm not gonna say I told you so or be mad at you. I know your heart was in a good place. And look down at Bruka and Taku. Sometimes when you try to do the right thing, you might just break the world. I'm just gonna turn around and leave.
After a somber moment of silence, carnage, the battle finally ends. What was your parting information that you wanted to give to the Giants?
So I want them to find big enough island for them
Okay.
to repopulate, really. Like, just kind of collect themselves, live out of the sun for a change. And they'll be right by the sea if they need it. And I would tell them, like, I would call on them.
Okay.
When the time was right, and I would leave someone in charge.
Okay. After that is all said and done, giants lead you all to a chamber. The ship has been shrunken down, now back to its full size. You see this long, large tunnel shaft. You hear what sounds like water. You hear the sound of swelling tides. And soon it erupts. You hear the sound of wind. You all feel it. The breeze running down the tunnel, you feel it on your face. The first breath of air from the outside. That ship slowly begins to swell underneath. As the ship then begins to rise, and out the top of this Leviathan. The ship lands on the surface of the water as you break into the surface world once again. The night sky is dark. Clouds are heavy. There's a rainstorm hammering down onto the ship. And though you have not had time to mourn, the first person to call out, Barry. All hands on deck! As he screams out. And the crew in silence begins to work. As you look out into the distance, island is visible. Except the shore is ablaze.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And as you look at this shore on fire, you take a quick look around. And you see that there are 2 other vessels. On your starboard port side. You look at their flags. You realize there are 2 other pirate lords. And as the rain comes burrowing down, the sound of hard heels hitting against the wood rings out. And a voice echoes. Now haven't all you got yourself into some fun? And that's where we're gonna end tonight's episode.
Yes, bitch! No, you keep playing, keep playing.
So thank you all for joining us for tonight's episode. Very emotional, very impactful episode. Next week, though, however, Sunday, and me bringing Cervantes in may kind of insinuate why I'm doing that.
Oh my god, ooh.
It will be a Love Boat episode.
Oh, fuck yeah, it will be.
So, obviously, we did not leave it in a moment where the romance is in the air, but I will definitely, I will rectify that as we get into the next episode, as there may be a certain influence for that purpose. But, nonetheless, tomorrow we will be doing our Episode 5 for Call of Cthulhu. We are on the second to last episode, and then we are going to be wrapping up the Dark Winter. Tomorrow, bring your tinfoil hats, because you may lose some sanity as well.
Fine.
So-
Fine, fine.
Big, too big.
Love it.
Sanity losses, man.
We're getting to the point too where somebody's gonna have to be dying.
But-
It's over, man.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to be your DM. And as always, remember to embrace the dark.
Is that